It can be a little tricky to set up a dimension style that works the way you want to work. I have on the right hand side here a hand-drawn drawing from a landscape designer working in the US. Let's zoom a window around this area of his hand-drawn drawing and see the way he prefers to put dimensions in. So he's working in feet, so from one side of this new building 17 feet, 12 feet to the other side, just simple arrowhead, but the dimension text breaks the dimension line. So we know the style that this designer prefers to use, and it's not the standard style that's available in GardenCAD. Let's zoom extents. I'll pan to the right a little, and we'll look at a very simple drawing. Imagine that this is a plot size, and what I've done here is put some dimensions on. So if I wanted to dimension this line through here, let's select the line first and right click and go to properties, and you can see that the length of this line is 82.39521. Gives you some idea of the accuracy of CAD programs. So decimal 82.39 feet, so it's 82 4/10 of a foot. So let's see what happens when we dimension it. So we'll close there, hit the escape key, and we'll go to draw and dim, and this is an align dimension. So we'll say align. I've got snap on, so the software jumps to the end point, to the other end point, and then I pull away, and I can position my, if I want a result such as that, I can get a small line at each end as a marker to indicate where the dimensions are coming from. If I position things like that, you'll just get a little tiny dot, but I'd prefer something like this, which is somewhat similar to the hand-drawn example that we used. So 82.4 of a foot, so 4/10 of a foot, so that gives us the actual accurate dimensions. In most instances for landscape work you don't need to go to that level of accuracy, of course. If we now try and understand how that was done, if I go to settings and dimension style, what I've done is set up a dimension style that I've called Robert 1 inch to 5 feet. This is the intention here would be to plot this drawing out at a scale of 1 to 5 feet on the paper that this designer normally presents designs on. So I've got a name style, so he's created that name style. If we look at it and have a look at, say, text first, you can see that the vertical text is centered, and that's what makes it break the line. If I change that to above, you'll see that the text jumps above the line, but we know this designer prefers it to be centered. And under lines and arrows, what I've done here is extend beyond the dimension lines 2 feet in fact, and then offset from the origin 20. Being offset from the origin means from the point, the end point that we snap to, away to the location of the dimension line, we're saying that's going to be 20 feet, and extending past, under normal circumstances, 2 feet past. But as you've just seen, we can, by sliding and moving the location of the dimension along, we can control the look of the dimension. If we wanted to, we could change from a closed arrow to an architectural tick mark if we wanted, and now we'd have tick marks showing rather than the arrowhead. But we know that this particular designer prefers to have an arrow which is a closed arrow, closed and filled arrow, and we can go OK. So there's our dimension. So you can see it can be a little tricky if you want the dimension style to match your style of drafting.